No, but ratings have come down across the board as a result of course, people just don't watch nearly like they did. I mean, I can go back, and so can my colleagues, to remembering, though, the times of Johnny Carson. Now, again, to that point, Chairman, I mean, you know, the administration in power was typically the subject of most of his jokes, as would seem to be the case now. I mean, these are comedians we're talking about. This is not the news.
Well, look, I can tell you, Jimmy Kimmel is no Johnny Carson. And the issue that arose here, where lots and lots of people were upset, was not a joke. It was not, you know, making fun or pillaring me or the administration or the president. It was appearing to directly mislead the American public about a significant fact of probably one of the most significant political events we've had in a long time. It's really the most significant political assassination we've seen in a long time. And so I think that's
I don't think anybody's going to try and defend what Kimmel said. And I certainly defer to the decision making of the company itself in terms of saying this was beyond the bounds. But I do wonder, and I think many people do, whether you really are just targeting comedians who typically through the years have made fun of political figures in a way that because the president simply is offended by it.
No. Look, again, broadcast TV is different. We're on a cable show right now. You don't have an FCC license. You don't have an obligation to serve the public interest. Podcasts don't either. Stand-up comedians, whether they're on lots of forms of communications, don't. And Kimmel is free to do that. But if you have a broadcast TV license, that means that you have something that very few people have. And you're excluding other people from having access to that valuable public resource. And it comes with an obligation to serve the public interest. And again, over the years, there's been a rule in place at the FCC that local TV stations get to preempt programming that they don't think meets the needs of their communities. But recently, these national programmers, ABC, Disney, Comcast, NBC, they've been exercising outsized control and power over those local TV stations, and there's been no pushback. And this is a very significant moment because local broadcasters are now pushing back on national programmers for the first time that I can think of in modern history. And that's one of the things we want at the FCC. We want to empower local broadcasters that have the public interest obligation to push back on national programmers so that people have more choice.
That kind of, I mean, it's interesting. Some people have pulled some of your old posts, Chair Carr, including this one from 2019. Should the government censor speech it doesn't like? Of course not. The FCC does not have a roving mandate to police speech in the name of the, quote, public interest. How do you square what you're saying with those old posts? And is there pressure now, for example, for Comcast to drop Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers the way the president suggested?
Well, two things. I've been very, very consistent when it comes to the internet. We want, wide open, robust, debate. And there's no public interest standard there. There's no licensing obligation there. But again, broadcast TV is simply different. Particularly during COVID, we saw this massive surge in censorship on the internet by Facebook, by previous owners of Twitter. And I pushed back very strongly there. But again, broadcast is different. They've got a license and they're free to go on the internet and do whatever they want. But if they want to keep access to those valuable airwaves, I've been clear. We're reinvigorating the FCC's enforcement of public interest. And it's a good thing. I mean, look, trust in the media is at an all-time low. It used to be more trusted than Congress, at least they could say, but now they've fallen beneath Congress. I think, gas station sushi probably polls better in terms of trust than the legacy broadcast media right now.
Chair Carr, Jim Cramer. According to the New York Times, late Wednesday, I'm just quoting here, Sinclair, another owner of many local TV stations, said that it would also suspend Mr. Kimmel's program and called on Mr. Kimmel to apologize and make a meaningful personal donation to Mr. Kirk's family and the activist political group Turning Point USA. Do you think that's an appropriate remedy of the situation?
I think Sinclair has every right to call for that. Again, Sinclair affiliates with Disney. They take Disney contract. They have a contractual relationship with Disney, and that's between the two of them to figure out, what's going to make sense to make both of them comfortable with the relationship going forward. But again, over the years, it would be unthinkable for Sinclair, for Nexstar, for local TV stations to actually say, you know what? We're not going to take this particular programming that's coming out of New York and Hollywood and send it to Pennsylvania and Utah. And so the idea that local broadcasters feel like they can push back, I think that's a much, much healthier dynamic for the country right now.